hello. How are you? I have had better days. I have had... Oh, we're gonna do that real quick. I'm feeling it. I have had... She has had some better days. I have had... Alright, enough. Sorry. Trying to lighten my own mood a little bit. Well, hello and welcome back to the show where your host doesn't know how to do math. Because apparently, I guess we're at day 90. Something like that. Or day 90 would be tomorrow. No, today. Today would be day 90. And I think I had put something like 93 on something. I don't know. I started October 11th. You do the math. But that's what day we're on now. Welcome to the show. Sorry you can't see me that great, but my tent is open. So I wanted to kind of get this started while I have things going. Luckily my other good phone camera is working this go around, so we will have that accessible to this stream. Thank God, because that's the good camera. That is the only sweet camera, as far as I'm concerned. Trying to see. I guess I don't have Messenger on my iPad, so I can't message people. I'm doing the stream right now. Anyway, actually, maybe I can without messing this up here. We'll try. Alright, here we go. Let's get back to the camera, make sure it's still working, and I didn't fuck shit up. Okay. Didn't fuck shit up. Anyways, so apparently on day 90 of the growth, things are actually looking pretty good. So with vegging, you know, you have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, blah, 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 blah. However, those weeks get kind of fucked up when you're pulling things down, stretching things out. So I kind of double my weeks up. So week 1 and 2 are kind of like week 1, 2 and 3 and 4 is week 2. So you know, it's gone about 2 weeks, and I had recently turned the air domes on the 1st. On New Year's, I turned the air domes on, so now the roots are getting oxygen, which is awesome. Obviously you can, oh, maybe you can't see it right now with that camera angle, but you will soon. But I got, you know, one of my biggest issues that I've never had an issue with before was the humidity. That's taken care of. I started topping them and letting them grow up on the 1st. So what you're about to see is crazy shit. So technically it's been about 9 days that they've been growing upwards. Keep in mind, I have been topping them to kind of like catch them up to each other, because I have one on, you know, each side of the tent. And the goal, if I can help it, which I should be able to do, kind of keep them together. But I am now in the process of spreading everything out. I guess maybe just be easier to kind of show you. But it just sucks because some things do not translate in the video as like they would if you were here to see it. Now what's crazy is when you low stress train it, depending on how you want to go about this thing can be a literal fucking bush if you want it to be. So instead of having that one top, which, you know, buds grow out the side all the way up, you have handfuls of tops going upwards and going upwards. Feel free if you have questions. The chat is live. I'm going to try to pay attention to it. So if you're curious about anything, have any questions, please feel free to ask. I will answer them the best that I can. But you know, for me with this whole process, it has been a very big learning curve. Because I've never used Cocoa, I've never used LED lights, which I'm still seemingly having a little bit of an issue with, but not really anymore. I'll go over that in a little bit. But it's just a whole different beast, man. But I'm slowly dialing it in, figuring it out, and I do actually, you know, as much as I was shitting on Cocoa before, I do actually kind of like it, and it seems like it's doing a really good job. Plus, another benefit with using the Cocoa over soil, dirt, stuff like that is gnats and bugs. So usually gnats they like that soil for the moisture that's still sitting at the top of everything, all that good stuff. And at least with Cocoa in these autopots, you don't have that. So that's pretty cool. And I'm really digging that. Another thing I'm really digging is these auto pots hardcore, because one of the biggest things is like feeding the plants, overfeeding, underfeeding. It's always one of the biggest issues, but with this, it's like it's not even there. And you don't even have to water your plants. You get a reservoir, you fill it up, and you just kind of walk away for a while. And in my case, like at least 2 weeks. But when I went to refill the water reservoir, it still had a good amount of water in there. So what I did was I closed it off from the rest of the plants. I put in another 3 to 4 gallons. I can't remember how much. Nutrient up. Then I just re-pH'd everything, let it mix for a while, check it out again. It was fine, and then I just reopened it back up. So what you're gonna see is basically week 2 nutrients going to the plants. I started, like I said, on the 1st, so oh man, this is crazy. So let me just show you. Let me just switch cameras here and we'll get going. I'm gonna show you into the reservoir as well and show you where we're at with that after 9 days of it just eating it up. So let me just get to that camera. Oh, that's my chin. And let me just take my main camera out of this because you're not even gonna see me. All right, so without further ado, let's cut to the good stuff and let's see where we're at with these plants. Okay, so wait, let me just twist this around real quick. How it's supposed to be sitting in here. How'd this get all twisted up like that? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, sorry about that. I just wanted to get this kind of right. So here's the top view. You can see that these things, I've been kind of bending them and stretching them outwards towards the outer rims of the pot. And the goal is to kind of get them to kind of come over here and meet up in the middle. I am going to scoot these over probably a little bit more. So you can see this is the other one. Not too bad of a top view. Now this one, this side over here was missing a bunch. Like this is where one of the branches broke. So if you see, we'll go a little closer. You can see I'm bending these branches down to kind of stretch them out to the side a little more to kind of fill this space in. So you can see I have a lot of these things on the plant right now, and I put a lot of these on today. This plant did not have these many things on it before. But again, I'm trying to bring these out a little bit, stretch them out sideways, and eventually, hopefully, come out to here. But you can see, look at all of these tops. We got a top here, a top here, top here, top here. There's so many when you look at this. So there's not just one going. Here's another good example right here. So you got the main branch coming up here, and you got all the offshoots coming up from it. And of course, all of those have been bent. Same with this one. I just started bending this one down. Like you can see how drastic of a bend that is. So if you don't smoke a lot of marijuana, or if you don't need a lot, like we'll just say hypothetically you smoke less than an ounce a month, this setup should be more than sufficient for you. I mean, less than a month, you got to think. So, well, if you decide to grow like this, getting it stretched out, let's see if I can show the stem. So you can see the main stem right there. There's one stem, and I pulled down the first 2 and the second 2 set of branches, and I pulled them down. Now, stretching this and pulling it out takes time. It takes time. But the payoff is worth it in the end, especially if you're looking for kind of longevity and to get more out of your grow. Now, if you have a 2x4 tent like I have, this is going to be how you want to do it. Again, it's going to take a little bit of time up front, but once it gets to where mine is, it's going to start growing uncontrollably fast and ridiculous. So, and flowering time is roughly about 2 months. So you have a grow like this, you will easily be fine until your next grow is done. No problem. Now, the question is, do you want to grow 2 of the same kind, or do you want to grow, different kinds? That could be a problem. Now, let's see. So this one, I wish there was a better example. Well, okay, there's not a lot because all of them are bent down where I could really show you. But in this plant, the nodes grow so close together, and it's actually kind of a challenge to use these pull downs, sort of with how close everything grows together. Now, some plants stretch. The problem with growing two different kinds at the same time is one might go so much faster than the other one, and unless you really know what you're doing, it's going to be hard to kind of like maintain them at the same level, especially if you're a beginner. Like I literally, if you look at this one, the stem comes up and like twists and then goes up. Pretty crazy. Yeah, like look at all those tops. Just pretend this was its own plant, this was its own plant, that was its own plant, that. That's basically what we're doing here. More tops, more top giant buds. So, and especially when you're just having a little 2x4 tent, you want to try to get the most out of it that you can in one go. And this way is definitely going to do it for you. So as opposed to just having one top coming up and you have the offshoots that, might get light, now you have all these that are going to be peeking from the top, getting direct light. And those are like usually your big, fat, juicy buds at the top. So the more tops you have, the bigger buds are going to be, healthier they're going to be, the more you're going to have. So that's kind of what I'm shooting for with all this. And again, where they're at now, they're just getting going, but they will eventually meet, and this whole top should be nothing but green. That's what I'm going for. So there should be like, hopefully like 80 to 100 tops, 80 to 100 tops, if not more, maybe. I don't know, but I'm expecting very, very, very big yields, especially from this one. This one is ridiculous. There are so many offshoots. So this one was so much farther ahead of this guy, but because of how I'm bending it, topping this, like slowing this down by topping it as well, I was able to kind of catch everything up. So this, I always like to do this view to kind of see how tall they've grown above the pot. And in 9 days, that's 9 days. And keep in mind, I'm cutting the tops down. I'm still bending things. That's 9 days. That's crazy. That is crazy growth. But that is also due to the auto pots, the air dome at the bottom, the venting, how I have it set up. Like I have it set for the perfect atmosphere now. So I don't know if you've watched any of my other videos, but I do have an air conditioner that I won in an auction, and I was able to kind of rig it up to this unit, and it worked out perfectly. However, the thermocouple in the unit wasn't as precise as I would like it, and it kept cooling my tent past where I wanted it to go. So luckily with this AI unit, with this guy, which I highly suggest getting, let me kind of take you around and show you what I got. God, I'm so glad I got this this microphone now. Hold on. Turn on the flash. All right. So this is the air conditioning unit that I won, 16,000 BTUs. It had an 8-inch hole, luckily, and I was able to put a reducer to a 6-inch, which is what this ducting is. Now, again, what I was saying, turn this camera over. Okay, so this is the air conditioner plug. Now, this is a special AC Infinity plug that is controlled by the AI unit. So now this will turn on and turn off precisely when it has to and needs to, and at the exact temperatures I need it to be. So that's fucking cool. So no matter how bad the thermals, whatever it is in here that checks the temperature, it doesn't matter because this will control it with the AI brain. So, oh, by the way, here is my tank that I got for CO2. I didn't realize how big of a tank 15 gallons is, but 15 gallons of CO2 goes in this baby. But lo and behold, since I'm in the tiniest place known to mankind, I don't really need it because me breathing in here alone apparently is enough. So this is the reservoir. Hold on, let me set this down so I can kind of pull it out a little bit because I do need to check it. Let me let it drip a little bit. So when you use auto pots, you're gonna have a reservoir that all your water sits in. This is mine, but I kind of customized the inside a little bit. Oh shit, this drank a lot. So I got the water pump at the bottom, as you can see, and I had some PEX going into this tea. So this is the water reservoir. This is what my plants are eating. This is what I don't even have to touch. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting kind of low. So we're looking like we're probably about right here. Probably a little higher. I'll give it right here. Which this thing is gobbling up water now. It did not drink it this fast before. But it makes sense because now there's more to it. So we'll just put this lid back on. But this is growing. Growing has never been this easy. I've never had it so easy like this before. But you know, you gotta have you need to have fans. So it simulates, you know, wind blowing, because you don't want these plants to not move. You want wind blowing these. It helps strengthen the stems. Like when this moves like this, it helps encourage stem growth and hardening, all that good stuff. So you're gonna want that. If you're worried about smell, definitely want to get one of these babies. We'll see how good it actually works in this tiny place I'm in. But I have mine set up so it's closed loop. So it goes through there, comes out, goes to my fan, goes straight into the air conditioning. But this setup is sweet. I did move where my time-lapse cameras are, and I swear to God, these are the coolest things I've ever bought in like the last 10 years. But yeah, they've been holding my cameras up, so they've been up here getting a good view of everything time-lapse. So that'll be cool to see later when they're done. But yeah, man, highly recommend if you want to do a small grow, and if you barely even smoke an ounce in a month, this would be the way to do it. Shit, you might not even have to do it like this if that's all you smoke. You could probably just grow it up. But at the same time, like, why waste it? You're gonna do it right. Like, look at all those stems in there. That's so many. Just this little cluster right here is crazy. But eventually, probably where these bars are, I'm gonna put a trellis in, and eventually have to raise that light up a little bit. But this would be the way to go. Easily, probably like. Well, I don't even want to say how much I could probably get from this, but let's just say it's a good amount. Just one alone, the way that I'm doing this, if you smoke less than an ounce a month, just one like this, you will be good for quite a while. You would definitely have enough until your next grow. Now you have both of them. Real good is what I'd say. But yeah, if you don't want to be going to dispensaries, stuff like that, I mean, you might want to stock up one real good time and then, you know, get going on this. But this turns into a passion. Like, I am in love with doing this. When I first started growing, like, you know, I wasn't a botanist. Wasn't a big flower guy. But it did give me a newfound respect for kind of plants and nature and shit. And when you start seeing results, especially like this, and, you know, especially after shaping it and bending it and waiting for so long for it to raise back up, and it's pretty fucking cool, man. You feel like you're doing something. I don't know. But yeah, these things are looking pretty healthy. Now, what I was saying with the lights, if you can kind of see, this is not like super, well, check this out. So I trimmed all of this today. All of this came off both of these. Well, most of it came off this one. But all of this, just today, just did it. So that's another thing. When you start growing like this, you want to make sure the inside can get air and breathe. And eventually, everything that's down here is going to get shaved off anyway and be bare just stems. Because, you know, it's going to grow up, grow up, grow up. So you're really not going to have anything down here eventually at one point. But just to keep like some of these branches from, you know, just to make sure they're getting light, you have to kind of go like this leaf right here, for example. That's going to be blocking some of the lower growth. So I'm going to want to chop that off. Probably this big one too. Looks like it's blocking some stuff. But you want to make sure the lower stuff could always get light, so it gets big, it gets thick, it gets strong. So yeah, so this is a crazy amount of just extras to be chopping off. But what I was getting at is if you see this leaf, it's like perfectly dark green. It doesn't have like spotting like that. And I guess that could be from like too strong of light or your light's not right. But eventually they seem to just get dark like this. So I'm just gonna stick with where the lights are now, but you can kind of see they all look like that. I'm gonna kind of do a little more research. Like I should probably cut this leaf off because it's blocking some of this stuff. But that's another thing you're gonna have to do. There's a lot of maintenance when it comes to doing stuff like this, and you're gonna have to be on top of it. I have a bunch of deer outside, so I just kind of throw this out and let them eat it. So that kind of works out for me right now. But it's like, man, that's a lot. And look, it doesn't even look like I cut anything off. There's so much still on there, but like, you know, I did want to not go too hard because I don't want to stress the plant out too much, but there's still so much to take off this thing. Because basically, you know, I just want that stem, just want this stem, because that's going to grow all the way up to here eventually, you know. But yeah, you got to kind of, you're gonna be in here all the time maintaining these. Like I just cleared all this out. This was all full of bushy, just leaves everywhere. So, but I had to do that so that when I bent these over, so these stretch to the side a little bit, that these are gonna get, sufficient light above it. So you got to kind of be conscious of what you're doing and what's getting light, what's not, what you want to grow, what you kind of want to stall a little bit on growing. So there's a lot to kind of take in. Like that thing is bent so crazy. It's like sideways upward bent. But yeah, so just wanted to give a little update on things, kind of show where my grow is, show how much I'm taking off the plant now, and it still looks like I did nothing. But yeah, so looking really good. Well, that's that big leaf on there because, you know, it's not in the way and it's still absorbing lots of light. So pretty proud of this so far. Looking pretty good. Got no complaints. What's even cooler is like usually there's no smell. Oh, look at that. Is that an AC Infinity tent? Yes, it is. Absolutely. Yeah, sorry, I just saw your comment. I just looked back. So yeah, if you look, AC Infinity 2x4. I got the AI Plus unit. You can see I got a lot of stuff in here. I might actually have to get an extender to make that into like an 8 plug because I still need a couple more plugs. But but yes, so the tent is AC Infinity, and I bought all this kind of a la carte. Like I didn't buy any kind of combos. I bought the charcoal filter with the fan combo, and that came with the AI Plus. So this plus the charcoal filter came with, oops, sorry. It came with this head unit. And then I bought the 2x4 tent independently. I bought these. You're gonna want to get these bars, if especially to put the trellis on. So, and this is actually really good height. And what's really cool about this tent that I just noticed is they have foot markers. So you got 1 foot, 2 foot, probably covering up to 3 foot. But that's really cool. That's a neat little awesome thing to it. This fan, however, is a Spider Farmer fan, or light. I'm sorry, the light is a Spider Farmer light. And I got it because if you look at it, it really goes to the edges of the 2x4 tent. Now, there's a couple different kinds I wanted to go with, but I figured this kind of made the most sense with my setup for right now. AC Infinity does have these cool square lights where I could have put 2 of them side by side, and that would have been awesome. However, you know, just getting back into the game, doing this, you know, with my research was fine. But yeah, you got a lot of the stuff kind of tied up at the top. Let's see. But yeah, so this is also AC Infinity, and this is actually a perfect size for this 2x4 tent. And with what I'm doing, the pots are the auto pots. These are the 6-gallon auto pots, and man, like no brainer. I highly suggest you get the auto pot 6-gallon with the air dome bottom. That you absolutely should get that. When I ordered the system, I ordered a couple extra of these guys. These come in handy. I think I got like 6 extras, but and then like here's like a drain tube, so I can close these auto pots off and kind of like drain the water out of everything through this. But these things are cool, man. Like if you don't know about them, let me just go over it real quick. But basically, let's make sure there's not a lot of debris. Basically, this thing will fill up with water to a certain point and stop. And then the plant will drink it. And when it gets very low, it fills back up. And then the plant will drink it. So you don't have to do anything. And it drinks the perfect amount. So you're not over or under watering it. And because of the aerodome at the bottom, it's getting oxygen, especially with the... So let me show you this. So... this is the air pump that I have going to the auto pots. So there's just 2 lines, 1 to each pot, but it provides air to the root system. So, and that's not connected to the AI brain. You don't need it to be, you just need that thing on and running. So that's pretty cool. But, let's see what else is AC Infinity that I have. Obviously the ducting is AC Infinity. This Y joint is AC Infinity, and that's where the air goes in through both sides of the bottom of my tent. As you can see, the water comes out the reservoir, goes down and straight into the tent. But yeah, it's a pretty sweet setup. And what's cool about over here is my chemicals are the Athena startup kit. And what they say, and I've seen videos too, they say that you can grow just with this stuff. You don't need anything extra, but just with this stuff. So I'm finding that to be true so far. I have, and I highly suggest if you don't have one, get one for nutrients. So I had this old dishwashing thing that I was actually going to throw out because I didn't know what I was going to use it for, but I keep my pH up and my pH down in here. And this is very vital. You have this, but you know, you want to have a pipette for each one individually. You don't want to cross-contaminate nutrients, chemicals. So I highly suggest getting these for each nutrient. Don't mind the chocolate, but you're going to want a pH meter, a pH up, pH down, plus, you know, a TDS and EC meter. So both of these are pretty vital. However, I'm ordering something that's going to sit in my reservoir for all of that. Let's see if I can just pull that up real quick. And I'll just show it on the screen. I think I have it. No, I don't. So, AC Infinity water meter, I guess. I can't remember what it's called. This thing. Let me turn the flash off this camera. Okay. So this thing is what I'm about to get. And that's going to go in that reservoir. So this basically replaces those 2 meters that I was just showing you. And it takes the guesswork out of everything. This is going to be a game changer as well. This plus the auto pots, game changer for growing. Let me see if there's any more questions on here before I move on. AC Infinity float valve like a toilet. Yeah, pretty much. And these were actually like the first guys to kind of do that. And they've been experimenting with this kind of stuff for a while, but they have way crazier things. I'd check them out, the auto pots for sure. But seriously, like this is a game changer. All the companies are trying to copy this now. But I would suggest instead of getting the AC Infinity ones of these, get the auto pots, get the Athena blend chemicals. You're going to want that. You're going to want pH up, pH down. You're going to need, like, again, when I grew before, I didn't need this. This was not a thing. But with cocoa and with this 2x4 small ass tent, you need humidity when you start growing. So I didn't know that. I was struggling at first, and this was one of the main culprits besides these goddamn lights that are still just frustration. But with that being said, you can check with one of these. So basically, you set it to about the height of where your canopy is, and it kind of tells you the light that you're giving your plants. And each stage has a specific kind of, number you can kind of go up to without fucking with it. I think I'm just hitting past where they can handle it. But they're doing fine. They are still growing really, really fucking fast. But I'm hoping by the end of March, I will fully have flowered all these, because at the end of this month is when I think I'm going to flip it. So hopefully we're talking by the end of this month, it's going to grow up to here. Let's just do that one more time. So that's about the top center of the screen. And here. By the end of the month. That's what I'm hoping. So I'm hoping all of this grows up to this fucking bar. Like that. I know it seems like a lot, but the way these things are growing, I feel like that could be a possible thing. Granted, it is the 9th. Ugh. And I am still having to pull some branches down to kind of fill in the gaps. So we're going to hope by the end of this month I can start flowering. But we will see. So stay tuned. But yes, any questions, absolutely. Feel free to text me, hit me up. Always on Facebook Messenger. Ooh, bad filming. Let me get back to my camera. I need some drinks in my mouth. I need some drinks. Oh, it's gonna play that goddamn music when I do it, isn't it? And we turn that off. All right, cool. So, all right, cool. That's it for now. That's all I got. Unless you guys have any other questions, anything you need, any suggestions, and let me know. But, really all I got. I think I'm gonna go throw this shit outside and let the deer eat it. And then, oh yes, oh, let me show you guys something else. This is crazy, because I'm not sure if I went over this or not. Damn it. Well, at least that thing's muted for next time. So let me go back to this. I'll just cut. I'm not even doing a transition. So if you look, so this is what you're gonna see if you get the AI interface. This is what it's gonna look like on your phone. So you can see I have the exhaust fan in number 1. I have the left fan, the right oscillating fan. Number 7 is my air conditioner, that plug, that little plug. Up here is my grow light, because you can plug different grow lights into this unit. So I'm using Spider Farmer Light with AC Infinity Brain. And obviously the lights. So I can kind of click on this, and it'll actually show you, well, let it connect. There we go. Sorry, this is a really old iPad, which is why I kind of use it for this, but it takes a second to load up the information. Or it just doesn't even load it at all. Okay, cool. Are we not gonna do it? Are we gonna do it? What's going on here? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Damn it. It's crazy it's going this slow right now. What the piss? Let's just close this and retry this. Alright, so now you get to see it firsthand. What's going on? AC Infinity. Alright. Click on that. Let that load up. Should load up anytime. Or not. Making me look stupid. But it is cool. So if you see up here, the 1267, that's how much CO2 is in my house right now. Technically, you want about 400 to 600, something like that. Maybe 800, 400 to 800 is... But the plants, this number right here is a high veg, low flowering number that you want the plant to get right now. So I'm thinking the plants are doing really good right now also because they're getting mad amounts of natural CO2 from my talking ass. But that's crazy. So when you click on this, it'll kind of show you CO2 numbers, parts per million, the VPD, the inside temperature of the tent, and the inside humidity levels. And you can kind of see, it'll show you what time. Like up here, it says the date and time. I don't think you could see it because of how it's whatever. But it is pretty cool. So anywhere you're at, you can kind of track where your grow is at and what's going on in the tent. Plus, if you're unsure if something's off or on, seed type. I would go with, okay, give me 1 second to finish this and I'll get to that. So right now it's cool because like when things turn on and start activating, these numbers change. So, and you could set like the highest value you want. I think I sent the fan to 7. I don't want it to go to 10 yet. Too much. So the max I set it to is like 7. So it will never go above 7. And it goes up as it needs to. Same with the air conditioner. It only turns on when it needs to. These fans are always on. But like you can, well, maybe. So right now it's showing where the light is. It's at a 7. Now I can control this right now and change the level of the light. But I'm not going to do that because that'd be crazy. But it's really cool. All right, let me get back and we'll start talking about. That's a very good question, and that really all depends on what you're trying to get out of your grow. So I guess, you know, if you're, you know, the kind that smokes less than an ounce a month, an autoflower is going to be your fastest way to go. So an autoflower, basically, you don't change the light cycle. You set it to one thing and just keep it on that cycle. The plant will start growing and it will automatically flower right away. So you can't clone an autoflower. You can't really pull down and bend shit because it starts immediately. And when a plant is flowering, you kind of don't want to fuck with it much. You want to let it do its thing. Now, when I got mine, I wanted to make sure I got feminized, because feminized you control when it goes into flower mode. So if you want to instead have one top and have a billion, you can take your time and have a billion tops and just get the most out of your plant. And then you could switch it to flowering when you want. Autoflower, you plant it, it's just gonna start flowering. Some are faster than others. Some have a really quick turnaround, like not even 2 months almost with some of these that are out there. But, you know, those are kind of, if you ask me, like GMO-ish kind of, I don't know. I've never done autoflower. I actually gave the autoflower seeds I have away because, again, I want to make the most of my time and what I got going. So that's what I chose. Autoflower, you plant it. I mean, some flower out pretty crazy and they spread out and they're pretty good. But I just wouldn't want to do that personally, just because like I'm trying to get the most I can. And you know, pretty much any strain out there has a feminized and an autoflower. So you really can, if you want to just get your autoflowers, just grow them, cut them out real quick, grow some more, cut them out real quick. That'd be the route to go. You'd grow them faster. You'd have more options. I'm not sure if they're gonna be bigger buds or not. I've never done it. I've seen videos. Some of them can be pretty big and nasty, but I'm sure that comes with, you know, knowing what you're doing and tweaking things. And so really, you know, it really all depends on what you're trying to get out of your grow. Me, I don't have a lot of space to work with, and you know, it takes time to grow a weed. So it's like I'm gonna go feminized. I'm gonna stretch this fucking thing out. I'm gonna give it as many tops as possible, and you know, I'll go from there. And that should last a person like me a pretty good long time. So it really all depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get like the most therapeutic and the most out of your grow, I'd probably go with feminized and just kind of like, because it gives you also time to fuck with it and learn the plant and kind of see what it does when it grows. And you know, I like the whole experience personally. I think autoflowers is kind of like, yeah, it's not for me. But you know, there's lots of people that do it that love it. So it really all depends on how much you're trying to get out of it, bottom line, I suppose. But yeah, autoflowers are fast, in and out. And again, they start automatically. You don't have to fuck with lights on and off schedule. You just kind of set it. I think it's like 16 on, 8 off, something like that with the lights. And you just leave it at that schedule and then you just feed it accordingly. But you know, I'm not sure if you just straight feed it flowering nutrients right away or not. I've never done it. So I really don't know as far as feeding it and how you'd go about that. Because with feminized, you know, it's a little baby clone, then you just give it a light dose of nutrients kinda, and you know, but autoflower, you're flowering, the plant's flowering basically right away. So I don't know if it needs all that other shit right away or not. So that might be something you might have to, if you go the autoflower route, you might have to kind of find out on your own. Because I will never ever probably do that. I want a lot. That's all I'm saying. Because, you know, with a person like me, not only am I going to just smoke the buds, I probably won't even really smoke most of the buds. I'll probably turn most of it into oil or like rosin. But another thing I want to do is I want to have enough to put into some like butters and oils. And I was almost to the point before where I was like making bath bombs, stuff like that. And that would be cool to just sit in a bath, throw a bath bomb in there, just a hot ass bath where your pores open up, it absorbs everything, and you're just like, yes, you get out of there just feeling good. So I would kind of like to get to that point, and a good way to do that and to have options with all that different kind of stuff is to, you know, have a lot to work with. So, you know, you can use the trim to make stuff with. You can use little buds to make other stuff with. You know, so I'll probably save a lot of the bigger, nicer buds to maybe smoke on at some point. But again, I don't really smoke flower. I'm getting a little old, and actual flower and plant matter and just papers from joints and just too much. So, and you know, plus I have asthma. So I kind of like the oil aspect of it all because there's none of that extra shit. It's just a pure oil. You put it on a nail. You put it on something like this. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these, but basically it's a bong and it has this coil that's wrapped around a metal, it's called a nail, and it has a hole in the center of the nail where the smoke gets sucked in. But basically you put this oil on the nail, turns into smoke, and you're just sucking it through. But it's just like the cleanest way to do it. Yes, it's a concentrate. Yes, it's stronger than weed. However, people always freak out about that, and they don't have to. It's like, yes, it is stronger, but you don't have to take a big one. You could take the smallest one possible. And I always tell people, you can't undo shit. Take a tiny, tiny one. See how you feel. Give it a minute. Let it settle in. You don't like it, it's not good enough, take a little more. But that's a big misconception with dabs. It's like, yes, it is stronger. Yes, it's a concentrate. However, you can still regulate how much you take, you silly fools. So you can just take the littlest bit. And what's great about dabs too, is with someone like me, especially, you know, if you make them, there's so much flavor and it's so good. But you know, to be able to do a lot of different things, you need to have more of it to do it with. So to make bath bombs, to make butter, to make, you know, edible stuff, to make oils, you know, you gotta have a lot. So with me, I need something like feminized with thousands of tops. But for the average Joe, you might just want to grow those 2 autoflowers. And you know, that's another thing though. With autoflowers, instead of having 2 in the tent like I have, you could probably put 3 or 4 in there maybe. Depending. Most sites like you go to get seeds, you can kind of see like how they grow, or you can kind of look them up online and kind of see, you know, what people are working with. And from that, but I would guarantee at least you could probably put 3 in the tent. And with autoflowers, it really doesn't matter as much. You could probably do 3 different kinds and, you know, just have them in like 2 months, 3 months, whatever, and just kind of be good for a while. So maybe that might work out for you, but I wouldn't be able to help out with any of that because, again, I have no experience with autoflowers. But that might be a better option if you want some more variety, a little quicker. But again, I don't know, you know, what kind of grade it might be, if it's a better grade than just regular feminized or if it's just like worse. But then again, they have, you know, ratings on there, so who knows? But if you want a lot, if you want to be able to stretch them out, feminized. You want some quick turnaround, probably get a little more strains in there at a time, probably autoflowers. But either way you go, I would definitely stick with the auto pots, because holy shit, cheat code. Even a shitty grower, you can't fuck this up as long as you make sure everything measures up right nutrient wise with those meters. You cannot fuck this up, and it should pretty much be bomb. Granted, it has been so far, and I have not tried flowering yet, so I still have yet to see how that goes. But for right now, I have been blown away by every aspect of this grow, with the cocoa, with the LEDs, with the auto pots, and in doing it in such a small tent. This is the smallest it's ever been. I don't know how I feel about it. especially when it starts getting a little bigger and out of control, because right now I can spin the pots. That's pretty essential, and that's another reason I went with the 6-gallon auto pots, is because you can actually spin these while they're in there and still work around the plant. However, when they start to like rectangle out, it's going to be a little more difficult to kind of get around and, you know, make sure they're not rubbing up on sides and causing mold. But man, it is cool having it in my living room. Just wish this was a way bigger living room. But yeah, I'll keep you guys up to date. Just want to get a little stream out there and kind of go over some stuff. But it's just crazy that I don't need to use CO2 because I'm at a 1200 level right now. That's insane. That might have been an issue why my plants were struggling a little bit at first, because all the CO2 in the atmosphere, it might have been too much for them. So it was really cool kind of getting the CO2 meter and actually kind of seeing what's going on in my surrounding areas. Like, I had no idea. What's scary is when I had my friend over, how high the levels were. They were almost dangerous levels. So who knew I had to worry about shit like that? And I would have never known if I didn't have this tent. So that's kind of crazy. Yeeks. Anyway. Ooh, brother! I think I'm gonna go eat some pizza now. Take another fat dab. Maybe I'll show you how the dabs work real quick. I'm sure I already have. But I'll cough my face out on the outro for you guys. So basically, here's my dabs. Actually, let me show you on the good camera. So, and don't mind my dorky, messy man thing. We're just gonna cut to it. So, all right. So, these are how dabs come. Lots of different forms. But right now, mine's a little dried out because, you know, I've opened it a billion times. All right, let me just scoop some up here. So, that is what it looks like. Oh man, cool. We're gonna do some online dabs together. All right, so basically you take it to the nail. Check this out. I 3D printed this myself and I designed it myself. If you look at this, it's a dab. It's a dab container as a handle. These things are usually called E-nails, but I put my initial B nail. But I did all the wiring and all the guts and all the buttons and everything myself. Every time you see this light up, you know it's heating up this coil right here. So that's cool. But yeah, man, dabs are pretty cool. Pretty sweet. Woo. Dabs. Medicine. Anyway, so hey, thanks for joining me on the show today. Wow, this is way better lighting than the other camera. Oh yeah, not the Hulk Hogan. Who's Hulk Hogan? Who's Hulk Hogan in it right now? 841? Oh, that was just 2 minutes ago. Hulk Hogan, I see. Well, anyway, that's the dabs. That's your lesson on dabbagery for right now. If you didn't know, now you know. Yeah, man, so nice, so smooth. And another thing I like about the dabs is it's one and done. You're not hitting the bowl a couple times, you know, just kind of, once you figure out your sweet spot, it's one and done. And you're good for a while. So that's another cool thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I like chilling. I like hanging with my bros, smoking a joint. It's nice. I'm all about the sentimental joint smoking good times. However, being an old piece of shit, I also like being able to breathe. And I find that every time I smoke a joint or a bowl, it kind of fucks up my lungs a little bit. But dabs, pretty good. Pretty good. Hey, brother. Oh, that's Randy Savage. That's not the Hulk. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That might be a little road. But that's funny. It's funny you say that. You should show the different kinds of dabs next time. Yeah, I may have 8 different kinds plus some rosins. That'll be for another time, brother. Because I need to eat some food. I haven't really been able to eat since I got home. I took a couple bites of pizza. But then I couldn't eat some pizza. So I'm going to go try to eat some pizza. So you guys have a great night. And I will catch you on the flip sides of things. Thanks for joining me. If you have any questions about anything, hit me up. Till then, peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace, love, and chicken grease.